In the past year, my family's welcomed 4 new babies into our lives. 2 regular conception and 2 from in vitro fertilization. In vitro fertilization, according to AmericanPregnancy.org, is a very expensive, very sought out, very highly held procedure. What it does is it takes a mother's egg and a father's sperm, combines them in a petri dish, and places them back into a mother's womb. From this experience, I wanted to learn more about it. And as I was researching about in vitro fertilization, I got off onto a tangent of embryonic stem cell research. I looked at the effects, the benefits, the pros, the cons. And how I stand on it today is I believe that embryonic stem cell research is morally and ethically wrong in many ways. The common belief isn't always the right thing, but it always is the more popular thing. Procedures for embryonic stem cell research have great benefits for people who have cancer and people who are deathly ill. The processes and procedures, on the other hand, may be morally wrong in the law. So when procedures are explained, they're not meant to sound painful. They're not meant to sound hurtful. You don't want to go into a surgery knowing you're going to die or something like that. You hear the good things. You have a 90% chance to live. So when you hear you're going to get stem cells because it's going to cure your disease, you're like, yes, I'm going to be healthy again. I'm going to live. I'm going to enjoy my life. But they don't realize where these stem cells come from. According to patient.info, the procedure to receive embryonic stem cells is similar to a blood transfusion. It comes from an IV drip into the bloodstream, then to the bone marrow. The actual truth is horrible about embryonic stem cells. An aborted fetus is donated to science. A mother has to choose to donate her child to science for them to destroy it, take it apart, and research for it. These cells are taken out of an aborted fetus that a mother no longer wants. Instead of the mother getting rid of her kid, she could give it to an adoption. Have somebody that can't have kids, let them take care of it. We wouldn't test our own kids with this disease or with this research. Why would we test somebody else's? That kid doesn't have a voice. We are their voice. Development from a fertilized egg into a baby is a continuous process, and any attempt to pinpoint where personhood begins is obituary offense. And that's an article that is from Eurostem.org. By removing stem cells, scientists are terminating any further development for this child. It means they no longer can breed. They no longer can develop into a child. They no longer could have the benefits that my aunt had. They couldn't take those cells and make a new baby. Not only patients are being lied to, they are accepting this horrible idea into everyday society. In our lives, research for these embryonic stem cells are becoming more popular, and more tests are being done in the United States. If other cities and other states and other countries don't want to do this, why should we? They think it's morally wrong. What is different about us? Why do we think it's okay for this to happen? With all these reasons, we wouldn't say an abortion is okay. Instead, give the child to a less fortunate family. Let them take care of the person. They are human. They live, they breathe, they eat. And in the end, you would never have to argue if ethics are wrong or right. We wouldn't have to use an aborted fetus. We could use your own stem cells. We wouldn't have to hurt an innocent human being. And most of all, we wouldn't have to go against a religious belief just because we need a medical procedure. So I encourage you to stay positive about what you have and look at the bright side of things. You have a life, and you've had a great life. Live it to your fullest. Yeah, you have different options. You can use, like I said in my last speech, you can use your own stem cells. They're not as universal as an embryonic stem cell. but you can use your own, and they do the same process with it. They take it from like your skin or the inside of your cheek or whatever organ you need. Or they've started to like manufacture like fake cells. Like,
So when they use the embryonic cells, is there a higher percentage of those cells rejecting, or like your body rejecting those cells rather than using, you know, your own stem cells that are already in your body?
well, an embryonic stem cell is gonna have a higher rejection rate because it's not already in your body. It's a foreign object, so to speak, to your body. There hasn't been a lot of rejection stories that I didn't see, but a lot of people can't get past where it comes from to use them. So.
If the mother is freely giving this aborted fetus to science and not accepting money for that, then isn't it that mother's choice? And then I have to think about the other side of it about people who are living. Is this is your only chance for survival? Is this the best option? And I don't know, what do you say to those people who think about it in that way?
I'm a pro-life person, and I always have been. That's just kind of how I was raised. So I always look at the adoption option, and if that is like capable of you to do, I feel like personally you should just give the kid to adoption.
All right.